When I was in relationships, I was always very honest with the people, that my partners, that adoption had to be part of. It was something that I just always felt like was how my family would look one day. And so this was definitely not a second option for me. This was always my first option. Growing up in South Africa had a lot to do with it. I was just hyper aware of, we have orphanages still in South Africa, and there were several in the community that I was raised in. And I think that awareness just stayed with me.
Like most moms, when Charlize starts talking about her children, her face just lights up. She has so many funny stories about them.
We went through this really crazy, beautiful stage like a year ago where, I'm an only child, and I didn't grow up with siblings. So I got to witness this the baby was at that place where she was just like hugging her sibling, and there was all this love and affection, and I was just like bawling my eyes out every day because I was like, this is the most beautiful love I have ever witnessed in my life. And now we're going through this very interesting stage where the baby is now almost 3 and realizes she doesn't have to do everything her sibling tells her. And so now it's just like they're like this.
I think the biggest lesson that Charlize has learned from being a mom is that there's not one way to do it. It's different for everybody. She's, said what worked for my first child doesn't work for my second child.
I think because I experienced some of that judgment on how I was raising my kids, I think every mom goes through that. There's always going to be a parent that tells you you're doing it wrong. And, because my children were adopted, and the biggest thing I always walked into was, breast milk versus formula. And it was just like one of those things where I was like, I just can't win in this situation. Like, I should just cut my losses right now. And I just remember that feeling, and I think it's made me more empathetic.